Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Looking for your best sleep ever? Sleep Number smart beds are literally made for you. They adapt to your changing needs. So whether you're dealing with sore muscles or running hot at night, your bed automatically adjusts for optimal comfort. Want softer, firmer, cooler, warmer? With personalized firmness settings and temperature control that cools up to 20 times faster than leading competitors, you'll get the perfect sleep environment every night. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event, up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
This is Ricey for my guy Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Royce is a paid endorser.
In Sunday's thrilling Timberwolves victory,
Yes.
we learned that the NBA is now saying Julius Randle's game-winning shot should not have counted.
They do a 2-minute report, and they say that he did bump into our old former guy, Josh Okogie, who was here for a couple of years.
Although discounted because Okogie flopped. So they cancel each other out.
Yes.
But no, it says that. What is
That's
that?
me. Okay, I got it turned off.
The league says Randle lifted his pivot before releasing his dribble, which is a violation.
So it wasn't.
He traveled.
Oh, it wasn't charged.
No,
he didn't charge. It was he lifted his pivot foot before he shot. Okay,
You know
I didn't
what?
see that.
The
way they walk, the Euro step, you come in.
There's no
and
traveling anymore.
The guy takes 3 steps, and then he jumps again, and they say, "Oh, it's the Euro step."
Yeah.
What European gave us this? You know,
the step back 3-pointer.
Yes.
That's a.
That he can't. There was something he shouldn't have done on that one.
Steph Curry apparently introduced that.
Yes.
Okay, here's the deal. The only thing I want to know: they don't change the result of the game.
No, God, no. They are the only sport that issues a 2-minute report at the end of every game to tell you how they screwed up. And sometimes there's like 12 of them that they didn't.
Wasn't that Tice's big deal when he was running things with the Vikes?
Yeah.
He'd send 58 plays to the league office.
They'd send the plays to the league office, yeah.
Thinking something would change.
Well, yeah. My favorite Tice story is he goes to Green Bay. I think who was playing quarterback from him? Somebody who shouldn't have been.
Was it Dante?
No. Maybe it was. Who was the Joe? He didn't have Joe Webb. That was after him. Was it? Anyway, they went over there late in December, and They played him much closer.
It was the remaining fragments of Brad Johnson. I remember that game.
Well,
he had nothing left.
Supposedly, they got like 8 bad calls. He sent them in, and I was out there, and they moved when you were at Winter Park, they had that little tiny room next to the bathroom, which somebody came in there and had to do a growler. We all run for cover, man. You could hear it. The odor, the whole thing. Certain people came in.
God, I'd forgotten that, and I wish you wouldn't have reminded me.
God. No, honest to God, half as big as this. Not half as big as this, but with the bathroom there,
A growler.
Yeah.
I never heard that one before.
Anyway, we're in they moved it over to one of their old racquetball courts. They turned into a press room over on the other side of the weight room. And that's where Randy Moss used to walk in and stick his head and say, look at all these bleeping guys and stuff like that. But Ticey gets the letter from the NFL confirming that there were like 6 bad calls against him, but it's private, right? It can't be released. He comes in and says, look at this, and he's waving it around. And Billy Williamson and Seifert are the beat guys. Billy Williamson for St. Paul, and he was like this with both of them. He used to walk around the field with them at lunchtime. Tell him stuff, which is one reason he got fired. Spielman hated it. But so the next day, both Seifert and Williamson write, blah, blah, blah. They screwed this up. Coach Mike Tice refused comment. After he's in there going, sometimes we got to take care of the fellas when they leak stuff to you. But anyway. Yeah, but the NBA does that. Here's a good one, though.
Was Randall from the Knicks? Julius Randle?
Yeah, he's the one we got from the Knicks in the trade.
DiVincenzo.
But here's a good one.
Yep.
The other day, where's Doc Rivers coaching now? Philly?
He's coaching Philly. No, he's the Bucks coach.
Oh, he's coaching the Bucks.
He's back home in Milwaukee.
He's coaching the Bucks. They get absolutely hosed on this call at the end of the game. The officials after the game, they don't wait for the 2-minute report. They looked at it when they came back and said, we screwed up. Mm-hmm. And Rivers, at his press conference, said they missed that call, blah, blah, blah. They confirmed that they screwed it up, but they fined him $25,000 for ripping the refs at the press conference, yes. I don't know why teams have those rules that you can't criticize officials.
Well, plus, why couldn't Rivers have said, they told me this?
Yes, well, he didn't know what they'd said yet, but he came in and said, I think they missed that call, and that cost us the game.
Patrick, that's not a team rule. That's a league rule, correct?
League rule, yeah.
Oh, okay.
League rule, yes.
I thought you said it. I don't know why teams.
I don't know why leagues. Okay. I mean, why can't you say, hey, he screwed it up, in my opinion?
Well, I got news for you. If we had tape of whatever Brian Callahan said to the refs during the Vikings game, he would have been executed in the NBA.
Well, what NFL coaches get away? Well, college coaches to a lot of degree too. Yeah. What they get away with calling these guys on the sideline is incredible.
Well, Callahan's undressing this poor side judge with the white beard, and you could see him mouth the side judge mouth. Okay. Like what else is he supposed to say?
Yeah, boy, you almost gotta hit him to get a flag thrown.
Well, he was poking the one guy in the chest, and I thought, how is he not getting kicked out of the game?
Where's the officiating more irritating, the NBA or the NFL?
NFL.
I think
and
so.
I think basketball is an impossible game to referee, and the NFL is so is football, but it's more influential. Okay, I hold a team, and they're going to have to punt from their own 20, and then some guy got held up for a half a second, and it's an automatic first down, and they get to keep the ball. It's it can be 3rd and 18. And if they get a 5-yard penalty, it comes with an automatic first down.
Well,
why does it come with an automatic first down?
That's too much power.
Yes, it is. And the other thing the NFL does is they go to the spot of the foul, so you can be at the middle of at the 50, throw a ball down there to the 5. It can be a little contact, and they move the yards 45 yards.
It's a game in which every dazzling play cannot immediately be celebrated as a dazzling play. You have to say, let's see. Did anybody throw a flag? They throw a flag?
Especially a dazzling defensive play, because this 5-yard penalty that they call for putting a hand on a receiver it is so erratic as to what they're going to call, too. They're just guessing.
And Bud was always on the bandwagon for professional officials, but I'm beginning to think it would have made any difference.
They do now have, I think most of the crew chiefs are full-time now or something. They got 14 of them.
I don't think it'd make any difference.
No, it doesn't. Considering where the game was when Bud played when Bud stopped coaching in 85 and where it is now, they're bigger, stronger, faster. They're, despite all the rules trying to get rid of head contact and all that stuff, these are animals. These are not human beings.
Plus, you also see certain coaches, because you'll see it in some cases with that Hard Knock show, basically designing a play saying, hey, if you can't get open, at least run into them because you'll create contact and we'll still get that happens all the time.
Yes,
you'll see coaches try to manipulate it that way.
Did you watch any of the Canadian Grey Cup?
Yes, I did.
I did too.
Yeah.
I didn't know receivers got to start early.
Oh, God, yes. In motion.
Yes.
And it's a joke among Canadian because you're not supposed to be past the line when the ball is snapped.
They're 10 yards past the line.
All my Canadian friends who cover it joke about, basically you got to be downfield and making a cut before they're going to say you win. But it's fun. It's fun. You see, they only have 3 downs to make a first down, but they give them all these advantages. Yeah. The other thing is we got this stupid kickoff thing that's the most embarrassing looking thing I've ever seen in football.
It is dumb.
Having these guys standing there, they're scratching their crotch and everything, waiting for the kickoff to go down the field.
Well, are we close to they're just going to end the kickoff?
Yeah, they might as well.
Yeah, they might as well.
But in the other league,
it would save time.
In the other league, they have the bigger end zone,
right.
And if you don't bring it out, it costs you a point. The Rouge. They encourage people to
they encourage danger,
kickoffs.
yeah.
And that's Bud. Every time I saw Bud I became Bud's sounding board buddy after Sid died. And maybe even before Sid died because I could actually hear him when Bud. But every time he'd say, I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. A was the kickoff, and B was what was the other thing?
Oh, I remember he didn't.
He wanted the kneel down.
The kneel down.
He hated the kneel down.
He doesn't like that.
He wanted you to. If you don't make a yard, the clock stops, which wouldn't be a bad rule.
I actually like that.
Except we'd have 25 more measurements a game. Did he make a yard?
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. But could you just make it as simple as you have to actually attempt to run a play?
Yes, I think you should.
Which I think that would actually makes a ton of sense.
The idea that plus, how about after the 2-minute warning or the last 5 minutes, the clock's 20 seconds instead of 40 or something? Why do they have a 40? Why does it take you 40 seconds to run a play? It's idiotic.
Didn't it used to be 35?
I think it's 40 now.
No, I know it is now, but didn't it used to be 30 or 35 seconds?
I don't know. What's the deal? I think Canada, it's 25 seconds.
Substitutions, you got to run it. My favorite, too, is when the offense might bring in a different wide receiver and the ref's got to stand in front of their quarterback in the center. Like, nope, can't snap her yet. You got to give the defense.
Well, and the part of it is the NFL they're so crazed about getting this idea that they're trying to prevent injuries, which you can't prevent, that they want fewer plays. They don't want, they want us to be looking at replays and, wait.
Did you guys see, speaking of injuries, did you guys see the former Gopher kid playing for Tennessee, the leg injury?
No.
Oh, God. Well, they wouldn't replay it on television.
Did it bend wrong?
The foot was basically pointing the other way.
Right.
And the doc had to come out, and I only saw this on social media. I didn't. They didn't.
Who was it?
I'll look up his name.
What's he play?
A linebacker. He'd been playing really well for them.
Okay.
I'll look it up in a minute. But his leg, the doctor came out and basically had to reset the leg right away. Yeah, it was not. It was not. A good look.
I watched about 8 minutes of last night's game, and the Gopher tight end was playing in that Brevin Span or whatever, the Brevin Span.
Jack Gibbons, Patrick, the linebacker for the Tennessee Titans, was injured.
Who won that game last night?
Oh, the Texans rolled them.
Yeah.
But it got close for a while.
It did, but
then I gave up.
Dumbass Mike McCarthy decided to go for it instead of kick a field goal when he was down 2 scores.
I think Brevin Span, I can't remember which team he was playing. I don't know. How great is it, though, that Dallas just absolutely stinks?
Yeah.
They keep showing these crowd shots. Go home. Why are you going to games anymore? I don't care what you're paying for your tickets. Stay home. For God's sakes, don't put any more money in
the roof
Jerry's
on that place
pocket.
caved in last night.
What? 2 nights ago.
Or two nights ago.
When they had the fight.
Is that where the fight was?
That was where Tyson fought whoever the hell this guy is.
Let's call it sparring.
Whatever
that was not a fight.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
But apparently they went to close the roof and all this crap came falling
Oh, I didn't
down.
know this.
Yes.
Really?
They were going to close the roof for this fight. Mackie gave me an instructive on what this fight was. I didn't know who Jake Paul was. I never heard of him.
He is a marketing genius.
Yeah, I guess he is.
Yes.
But he likes fighting old people, right?
Would you fight Tice for $40 million?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah, I would too.
Neither one of you would end. You'd both end up in the hospital.
Well, of course we would, but maybe we'd live.
$40 million.
Maybe we'd live.
Yeah, then I can afford all this Amazon crap that's on my steps every day. That's how I'm going to die.
Yep.
You know,
Bringing in packages.
Fear falls,
Yeah.
tripping over a package that I don't see because I got a little step down. You know?
You got to be careful.
Right then, cement. Trip over a package, down face first, bleeding through the forehead, saying, Katie, I knew you were going to get me eventually. It's unbelievable.
Joe, I have pancreatic cancer, and I tripped on an Amazon box. What's coming up on the right?
Well, I got the same Amazon problem.
Oh, God, it's unbelievable.
It's kind of even worse now because there's two people that ordered the stuff from Amazon.
We've got more residents, too.
I've got more residents that live
When's
there.
When's that reconstruction going to be done?
Well, it's
the deadline has been pushed.
We changed the deadline.
Yes.
That's a moving target. The deadline, and
So speaking of Taylor Swift's fans, my guy Linneman told me that she's in Toronto for 3 days.
She was. I think it's done now.
No, November 21, 22, 23. She either brought him back or something.
Oh, is he on the hook for a couple tickets?
He said to his daughter, who's Nora, who's great, and a pretty reasonable person, I can get 2 tickets for $5,000, and she said, that's ridiculous. Don't do it.
Well, that is a good kid right there.
Good daughter.
Yes. She's a beauty.
Yeah.
And
how old?
Oh, God, what is she now? She probably early. She just got out of high school, I think.
I was going to say, she's older than Will, so I think she's, probably got to be high school age.
Yeah, she's great. I picked the two of them up at the airport when she was like 9 one day, and by the time we got downtown, I knew her life story. It was unbelievable.
Wait a minute, Patrick.
What?
You might have just broke some pretty interesting news here. So Tay-Tay is in Toronto.
I think.
But she didn't go to Buffalo on Sunday for the game?
You know, I can tell you all why.
Let's
I get
hear. You've got the dope.
Information.
You've got the dope.
Because
practicing the sound.
No, because Travis felt he could not provide enough security.
Really? Mm-hmm. In Buffalo?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
is that what he was worried about?
In other words, he probably told her, you ain't seen drunks at a football game until you've seen Buffalo fans.
They were there last year. Okay. Remember, that's where his brother took his shirt off.
Maybe
in the
she got
suite.
That was at Buffalo?
That was in Buffalo last year.
Maybe she got harassed or something.
It could be, because they don't have the best suite situation at that stadium.
No.
Well, anything you want to know, I can.
Well, that makes a lot of sense,
I can
to be
help
honest
you with that.
But he told me hotels, restaurants, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is Canadian money. The impact to the economy is going to be $300 million.
I don't doubt it.
having her in town. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that counts her gate, too, which is...
I've tried saying this. It doesn't go over too well when I say it, but it might be that I'm a heretic. I don't think she's that good of a singer.
I don't think that's part of the deal.
It's not a strong. It's not a strong voice,
but it's an event. You're going for the.
I don't think the audience is. Said you and I aren't part of the demographic.
No, we're not factored in, but but there's not a strong voice there.
No, you're right, but it's a part of the.
This ain't Bonnie Raitt.
No.
I tell you though, she's an athlete. She gives them 3 hours. You can't complain about. You can't. It's not like going and seeing Van Morrison.
Right.
Stand there for an hour and 10 minutes with complete disdain for his audience.
Contempt.
Yes.
Why are you here?
Yes.
It's funny this is coming up because I made a comment about you over the weekend because I saw during football, oddly enough, that there was a new ad. A new Taylor Swift ad for the Eras Tour that you could only buy this package at Target.
Really?
Yeah, it was the book and the CDs and all this stuff. And I thought, that poor son of a bitch, Joe's going to be on the hook for that.
I'm not buying anything.
How long is this world tour going to last?
Forever.
It's supposed to be 2 years, but we're beyond 2 years by now, aren't we?
I have no idea. I can find out for you.
Is she coming back?
I'll get all the dough if you want me to.
She'll probably have to swing through here and put in 120 in 2 days.
Come back again. Why not?
What the hell?
We're not going to have a home playoff game.
My 2 nieces basically paid their way through college. They're both singles. Andy's over at the Wisconsin getting done a semester early. Basically, she's a genius, but she's also saving money. They spent $1,000 a piece for Taylor Swift tickets to watch her on TV.
On TV?
Well, on the video.
Basically,
on the video.
Yeah, you're watching the video screen when you're at the arena.
Yeah, she's this high when you're sitting up in the,
Isn't there a hole she falls into, too, on the stage?
Oh, I don't know that.
Disappear, and that's where they change her. They got a pit crew.
She's got the outfit change.
She drops down.
3 minutes, right?
No, she drops down. There's a pit crew that strips off everything and puts on the next
that
era
might not
outfit.
be a bad job.
It's a good job.
Not as good as the guy. I still say the greatest job ever was the guy
got the sand off their butt.
Kathy Ireland, sanding her prep.
Yeah, you got to give the little sand on your butt there. It looks like you're on the beach.
I'll pay you for that.
Unpaid internship.
I'll pay you for that job, buddy. Unbelievable.
Those girls go through it. That's grueling. That's tough on them.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we were mentioning the Buffalo-Kansas City game. I
liked that game.
I had videos pouring in.
Game,
I know.
Kansas City's defense way better than it's been.
No, for sure. But I had videos pouring in from Western New York that night, and let's
he
just
deleted
say,
them all.
I was none of that evidence was staying on my phone.
Were they?
They were celebrating the victory.
Was there a lot of diving onto tables from high altitude?
There was also a lot of cleavage being showcased in bars and restaurants throughout Western New York.
They didn't celebrate outside after the game.
Have you?
It was cold.
Of course they did.
Oh.
Joe, it was in the 50s. For God's sake, that's tropical.
That's balmy, I guess.
Hey, Toronto is the North American capital of football, though. The Argos won the CFL, but they're all Bills fans, too.
Yeah.
Toronto was...
it is funny she couldn't go to the game. Toronto and Buffalo are about 5 minutes apart, aren't they? Well, not really. There's a lake
all
there.
All the NFL fans in Toronto cheer for the Bills.
Isn't there a lake there?
They're supposed to have like 10,000 season ticket holders.
Weren't they going to do like a home and home with the Sky Dome? Wasn't there talk of that? Or didn't they do a couple of those?
They were having their stadium problems or something.
They were doing a couple games up there, right?
What's this guy spending? I saw that he now has had another $200 million cost overrun that he has to pick up.
Well, but he is, I heard this through a source, that he is selling a minority share of the team to help pay for this.
So you can't, there's no bridge across that lake.
Sure there is.
Nope, not across Lake Ontario. You'd have to go around.
Sure there is. Don't you go up? You go up through Niagara Falls.
Well, what I'm telling you is I'm looking here on the map, and I'm not seeing a bridge.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure there's a direct route between Buffalo and Toronto.
Well, you don't have to go all the way around the lake. No,
it's like driving around the Berlin Wall.
Yes, right.
Drive around the outside. You got to take Canadian highways. I was a little puzzled.
As a man who grew up in a German town, I wasn't surprised that they never.
Why didn't they just go outside?
I don't know. What can you expect?
I had a little wrong. I was a little
wrong. Can we call them
wrong.
Krauts anymore?
I think so. No, they're white people. You can call them.
Lake Ontario. Well, here, let's look her up.
No, you
Joe.
got to drive around.
I went across something when I came from Toronto to Cooperstown. I went across some kind of a bridge.
Well, sure you did, because you encountered some lakes, probably.
No, the big lake. We ran to. I think we got right to Ontario.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Boy, I don't think there's a bridge across Lake Ontario. That'd be a long
That'd be
bridge.
a big bridge.
That'd be a big bridge.
But Niagara Falls, there is a bridge there.
Well, to get across the falls.
We went over it.
Well, yeah.
And you know what? A lot of steam coming up from that bridge. A lot of fog and stuff.
Well, I'm looking at the bridge there at the falls. Of course, there's a bridge there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Well, maybe this map is not the best to see. I don't want to get emails from people telling me.
Well, I think you're gonna.
Yeah.
But
let me look her up online. I was having a difficult time pulling up on my phone.
Kind of like the old golf series that our friend the pictures. What was it? The guy from.
That painted the
Minneapolis
impossible.
What the hell's that guy?
Bud Chapman.
Bud Chapman, the great Bud Chapman. And I did a couple things on him, and he was telling me the calls he'd get at 3 a.m. People, we're in Victoria, South Africa.
Where is it?
We're looking for that golf hole, which basically
from the top of a mountain.
He'd get calls from all over the world.
All right, Joe, I think we all owe you an apology.
He, by the way, I think he made it to about 90, and I think he still was shooting his age when he was about 90.
You can get there 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Yep.
Buffalo to Toronto. You go through Niagara Falls, and you swing. You got to go around. You got to go around through Burlington.
You got to drive around the lake.
But there is a bridge that does go over what would that be? The western tip of the lake.
Big deal.
Where you cross
That ain't
into
very
Canada.
Building a bridge, I'd like be building one from. Up there in Superior, it'd be a little tough to build.
No,
but 2 hours.
I knew there wasn't a bridge. He was 2 hours away from the game, but there were security issues.
Issues.
Yeah. Well, good for her. I'm glad.
Andy Reid's wife went. Mm-hmm. Donna and the ex-husband went. And some other...
Donna Taylor's mother, Donna?
Travis's mom,
Donna.
And Dad went. And Taylor's mom and Dad went. And Andy Reid's wife went to see her in Toronto.
I didn't know.
How about Andy Reid whoring up all this money he's making on ads
for State Farm?
What's he have? No, he's
none of this would happen without Taylor Swift.
He's doing about 3 or 4 different ads.
None of this.
He and Mahomes is on everything now.
If I hear one more time how popular the Kelsey podcast is, I've tried to explain. They had 12 listeners. Suddenly he started dating the world's most famous person.
Yes.
That makes a difference.
That does help. That
makes
help.
a difference because someone might hear her name mentioned.
I think, what would be a popular podcast?
Oh, God.
If you had a camera in Suchi's house when the little ones are running around talking about Taylor Swift, that would blow the Kelseys right out of the water.
Pat, you should have seen the old mayor on the morning of November 6th, the day after the election, when Kenny and Rookie were saying, what time did you book the CP? She's coming on today to talk about Trump, right?
Oh, man. My significant other's kind of calmed down. But,
okay.
But
I'm
she's
noticing
depressed.
some calming.
Define kind of calm down.
Well, she's just depressed now.
I see.
And beyond more than living with me, which kind of depresses her anyway. But this is.
See, I was prepared to live with either outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all you can do.
Because you are open-minded.
What can you do?
Thank you.
Yes, you were
What
right.
can you do? Until
Nothing.
he started naming his cabinet, it's been a little bit of a rattling. Do you ever? I mean, I'm a devoted agitator, but this guy is.
He's the king.
You can't out-agitate him.
You can't out-agitate. Okay, Give me the list of the 20 biggest arses who would piss off the lefties, and I'm going to make them my cabinet. Did you see what the New York Post said about their interview, their editorial board's interview with Robert Kennedy?
No.
They said, we reached the conclusion he's nuts. There was a lot of rambling about stuff. The New York Post, which is a Murdoch paper.
He said he had a brain worm. He had a worm in his brain. Mm-hmm. And then...
it ate part of it, right? Did it eat part of the brain?
I guess it did.
Yep.
And then the one thing I haven't never understood is the bear in Central Park. I think it's a funny prank.
Sure.
But I don't know why you would have done it. It's a lot of work to get a bear and then bring it to Central Park and say, "Well, I didn't do that."
No.
I had nothing to do with that bear.
Well, how many kids is there in that clan? Like, is he the oldest? Or
He's
probably had a
70
daughter?
ye's old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's
right.
been around.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer, and
He didn't get the old man's good looks either, did he?
no, he's quite the hound. So somebody considers him
he
good
probably
looking.
got that strain in him, but he doesn't look like the old man. Of course, Bobby only lived to be 55.
I bet JFK was at least as much of a hound as Trump. You just never heard about it back then.
And even if you know it, you didn't report it.
You didn't say it.
No.
You didn't talk about it.
No.
Now it's public knowledge.
But I told you, already told you about Blue Sky, right?
You probably have not. That's a form of Twitter.
Blue Sky is the new, we're going to be nice to people Twitter.
Okay.
And
working on it.
I keep having people say, you should go to Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Really?
That's not why you're on there.
That's not why I'm on there. I looked at it. I didn't sign up, but I looked at it for 4 minutes, and I said, what a bunch of wussies these people are.
Not for me.
Not for me.
No, your whole point is to irritate.
I don't want to take a shot at the Trumper and have people saying, oh, good for you. I did.
Didn't we try that once? Did we try? We tried, was it Positive Pat?
Positive Pat. What? Well, Joe had Positive. I stole Positive Pat. Was it Positive Thursday?
Yeah, Positive Thursday. Which
stole.
Hasn't been positive for years.
No.
Except for when Schoonover joins us.
Yeah, that's positive.
That's positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Pat tried the whole deal where he wasn't going to say anything bad on the radio.
How long did that
He
last?
wasn't going to tweet anything negative. And then he kicked the door open in the street and said, to hell with it. I'm ripping. I forget who it was that broke you. It might have been PJ Fleck. I can't remember.
I don't know who it was.
But somebody broke him.
What did you refer to recently? You gave a very thin allusion to you were keeping an eye out for somebody for the Turkey Awards. Who was it? It was a real subtle.
The guy who did the Bynum. The guy who did
the excessive celebration.
The breakdance thing. Yeah.
They got very
Is he in the committee's notes?
He's in the committee's notes. He might be the pregame entertainment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The committee has taken notes.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
The Turkey of the Year has taken notice of this idiot.
Yeah.
There's got to be a time
Well, did you
limit.
know what it was when he
Hell
was?
no.
Okay.
You think I watched breakdancing?
Well, I didn't know what it was
I didn't.
until somebody told me, and then I got it.
Yeah, but it's way over the legal limit of time.
But
It
wait
took
a minute.
too long.
What
Yeah.
if he was
He went
mocking? What if he was mocking the
I
fact
don't
that
He
care.
was
breakdancing?
mocking it.
It
Yeah.
went 11 seconds.
That's a little
That's
lengthy.
a little long.
What is your time limit for?
I don't know. I want you to spike the ball and go, "Ugh." That's it. Let's it up. I've been ripping Jefferson for, I think he's too much. I'm just having fun. What is this? I acted like 3 weeks ago. Did you ever notice that he does this goofy dance?
Yeah.
You idiot. He's been doing this. They're screaming at me. I love
And now,
it.
you know what else all the NFLers are doing now? The Trump dance.
Oh,
where they
really?
just
Oh, yeah.
move their arms, which is not much of a dance.
No. Well, the white guys are probably doing that. Who was it?
No, there's plenty of black guys doing
there
it.
is.
Who was it that wore the Trump
Bosa.
hat? Bosa?
Yeah, for
Nick,
the 49ers.
one that just got hurt, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't an NFLer make a name for himself by making a point of, after scoring, to walk over and hand the referee the ball?
Barry Sanders.
Well, but nobody does that.
And
Wouldn't an NFL?
Bud had him do that. Tried to get him to do
Well,
that.
it didn't last long.
Fitzgerald did that. Larry Fitzgerald. That's what he did. He handed the ball back.
Probably
to the
because he was a ball boy for Bud.
Yeah.
Down in the, it was probably.
He was with Denny.
Bud was gone by then.
He was with Denny, yeah.
But Denny wasn't. I don't think we were big on that kind of stuff. Denny. I'll say this about Denny years later. Talk about agitator. He was the king.
He was the king.
Mm-hmm. I told you, we were in Detroit one day, and he gets up there. I think it might have been the day we're all sitting there waiting to see what's he going to do at quarterback. What's he going to do at quarterback? Because Randall Cunningham, he benched him and put Jeff George in, and all week we could. And he walks in and says, Jeff George will be our starting quarterback next week, and then every question he had some dismissive, smart-ass argument, and he's walking out, and he's next to me, and one of the guys that came with him all the time said, "You really laid it on to them this time, Coach," or something. He says, "When I stop bleeping with him, tell me." So and I said, "Okay." We've all been making fun of Denny. He's making fun of us. Although the
Calcutta Clipper.
The Calcutta Clipper. I wish that was satire, but I think he was screwed up there. Alberta. It's easy to screw up Calcutta and Alberta.
I mean, Calcutta's in India.
I understand the weather pattern. Pick up the Calcutta Clipper, swings down, swings up, lakefront influence, and out.
Yep.
You know what? What was really funny is, and he went to Arizona, and you thought this, he got away from us. He thought this was a fresh chance, and he had a hostile relationship with the media down there, right, almost from the get-go.
Oh, don't you have that clip from a talk radio show?
Oh, well, no, it was a press conference.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was a radio show.
Was it?
If you're going to call me and tell me how to run this club, angry and he was angry.
Oh yeah, he was.
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were.
Yeah, that was his famous.
They're what we thought they were.
Yeah.
We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in a preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. Yeah. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, he was.
And we let them off the hook.
What happened? The Bears beat the Vikings?
No, they came. No, somebody was at Arizona.
Phoenix.
Oh.
But he was a little grumpier there than he was here. I mean, he got grumpy here after the expose and all that stuff. But first 3 years, he was fine.
Yeah.
He's
our Wild are at St. Louis tonight.
All right. Go Wild. How banged up be Zuccarella, but we might be getting a couple of the other boys back.
Yeah, Zuccarella took one in the swimsuit
He
area.
ain't coming back anytime soon.
Did we have to operate on?
Yes, there was surgery.
Was it testicular? Or
I have no idea.
A real lower body.
That was a lower body injury.
Of all the surgeries, that's the one that you want to be successful.
Yep.
Yes, right.
Yep. You want the guy to walk out and say it went well.
He's 30. Is he 37? Somebody's 36 or 7. How
Really?
old is he?
I don't think so.
What's his first name? Remind me.
Matt Zuccarello.
Matt Zuccarello.
I don't think he's that old.
I'll look it up.
Why would you be wearing a cup?
You probably were.
Maybe the cup shattered.
Remember when Mike Parrott, the pitcher?
I was telling the boys that the other day.
Hit the line
was
drive.
it Small hit it?
It came right up underneath him, got him right in the groin.
They brought the ambulance out.
And groin, yeah.
He damn near died.
He missed the rest of the season.
Yep.
And Pete Redfern had the great quote. He said, "I even wear a cup when I'm watching television."
Yeah.
He's pitched.
You were
Poor
right.
Pete, by the way, I think he's still alive. But, remember he jumped into Catalina Bay and got paralyzed.
Yeah.
He's been paralyzed for like 40 years, probably.
Zuccarello is 37. I didn't think he was that old. Wow, that's yeah. And no update on his injury. I was trying to find that as well. But I think it was successful.
I wonder who was the first. They used to tell you what injuries were, except in the playoffs. In the NFL. And everybody used to tell you what injuries were. So now that, I think the NFL they can't just say lower body. They tell you specifically what it is. So By the way, this is in my craw.
All right.
You know how I've been telling. There's certain things that, and I first noticed this intentional from Kwesi. Kwesi's promise. We're going to make intentional decisions.
Right.
It's going to be intentional, but intentional instead of
that really bugs you.
An intentional instead of a adjective is now become a noun. And I'm hearing some moron do an NFL. They get down to like the C team radio announcer doing a color commentary on a national broadcast. The guy's virtually illiterate, and he keeps talking about everything being intent. Well, that was in, everything is in. It's time now to get intentional or something like. Ugh. God Almighty!
If I could jump through this TV screen,
this wasn't TV. This
it was
radio.
Oh, because there was a great one during the Vikes game on Sunday. We had former Rams safety Adam Archuleta.
I hear they were bad, huh?
Pat
Randball went out of the way to rip him.
He had a call, and we were outside. I had the game on in the garage. We were outside, so I didn't have the availability to tweet. But here was his analysis of a play. C.J. Ham, number 30, is in the game, and you can tell when he's in the game because they're going to either run the ball or they're going to do play action. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that analysis.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Rookie, Kenny was about to say something today, and Rookie said, I think we're about to hear some condensation. No, condescension.
Yes. But he could have been satirical.
Yeah.
With the rookie.
No, I don't think he was.
No, it was condensation.
Because he also had, what did he have?
But that's okay because he's out there preventing nuclear holocaust at the airport.
Well, Pat, we know it wasn't him trying to make a joke because Joe brought up geology, and Rook said, "Oh yeah, that's when you study your family's history." No.
What was your rant today about? Now, what did you uncover that no white folks?
It wasn't my rant today. That's not how it's
are we mad at?
You always think that. Who are we mad at? No. We came across a
person
professor.
We can't know anything about geology.
No, she said geology and paleontology are racist because we have no business having a relationship with rocks. Only black and brown people have an inherent understanding of the earth, and we don't. And the only conclusion you could draw is we're not supposed to exist. We're not supposed. Nothing should have happened. The earth.
I will admit.
I would hope so.
On my side,
on my team,
we have a fair amount of goofballs.
No, not a fair amount. Your side has destroyed the academy. It's destroyed. It doesn't even merit.
Yes, but they're the left of the academy now. There's stuff, I don't know if it's left. What
She's
the
at
hell it is.
Queen Mary University in London.
Oh, okay.
And her name is Catherine somebody, and she believes that there shouldn't be geology.
So some of the black guy kids hanging around in the Bronx,
right,
on the corner, know more about it than a white geologist.
No. I shouldn't say they know more about it. We weren't supposed to know anything about it.
Okay,
that's not our province.
We aren't supposed.
We're not supposed to do any of that stuff because that would be done out of colonization, racist.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought it was because we had no knowledge of it. But we're
not supposed to have any knowledge of it.
Oh, okay.
Because that's not our deal.
Because the Earth
belongs to the Earth does not belong to.
Are you
white
in the
people.
Adam and Eve camp, or do you think that's?
I
always kind of wonder. I go through life. I'm now 79 years old. I'm getting near the end. I'm saying, I wonder this Adam and Eve thing. It's hard to buy.
It is.
Yes. I think that. The Bible's got. I'm not a student. I mean, I only heard about it. I never actually opened one.
Right.
But But I think they got some the stuff about the double animals going into the big.
Well,
boat.
we have found Noah's Ark.
We have found it. Okay.
There's a big boat they found.
Any leftover dead cats in there?
The double animals getting on the boat.
I don't know. That's found that one. I don't know. Plus,
well,
the guys,
you know why you doubt?
I thought we were supposed to enjoy the morals taught us in the Bible. And then we got the guy that had like 38 kids with 6-7 different women.
I know your problem with the Adam and Eve story. It involved a serpent.
Yes, I don't
That's
like
true. You don't like serpents.
I
No,
don't
you
like
do not like
serpents.
There was a serpent
A
involved with
talking
the
ser-
apple, wasn't there?
But
Something
the serpent
like that.
was talking, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Wasn't
a talking snake.
Serpent?
Yeah.
No. Boy, that freaked me out.
Yeah.
If I ran into one, we had a snake when we were up in, staying under the cabin when we were up in western Wisconsin.
Right.
Northern Wisconsin. I just think if it said hello, I would have been really.
You got a talking serpent.
I don't know. I never liked them.
No, I'm not a.
I always thought they
but
were up to
I
no
did.
good.
No,
I always thought
Monty.
they were up to no good.
At the fair, Monty turned me around. I learned how to
still
hold
with us,
them
right?
and touch them, and they're not slimy.
No.
They look slimy. They're
Yes.
not slimy. They're dry, and they're nice. And
Well, you did, however, though, on one occasion, kick over John's $1,000 guitar.
I did, but that was because of an
get 'em.
alligator.
Oh, I thought it was a snake.
It was an alligator.
It was an alligator.
You know what? You know the ones alligators look bad. They're tough.
They're
But the
old.
ones that really look bad are those sea crocs, those crocodiles.
Crocodiles
Oh, yeah.
are saltwater.
They were in salt water.
Yeah. There are people who make friends with alligators and crocodiles.
Wow.
They pet them and they come up and
and
get
they-
them.
Florida guy is feeding them and
Yeah.
And
stuff.
then they
Yeah.
ended up getting eaten by them. Most of them end up getting eaten.
Monty's
by
alligator lived in his house.
Okay.
What was his alligator's name?
Big Al.
No.
Wasn't it Big Al?
No. He had a name, and I think the alligator died. No.
He's
When
still with
Monty
us, though.
died,
When Monty
the alligator
died-
went into severe depression.
Remember, he ripped apart the
Monty's
shop
no
vac.
longer with
Oh,
us.
no, he died a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Big
How
Al.
do you leave that business in your will to?
Well, he's got two dogs.
Two dogs.
His nephew, is it, maybe?
I think so.
Who believes in it? Who likes
Well, he
it?
still runs the
yeah.
show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still keeps the liquor cabinet open at the Lizard
Lonnie's
Lounge.
Lizard Lounge.
To me, the state fair's lost all its pizzazz ever since little Irvy got down to about the size of a trout.
Yeah, but that's 60 years ago.
I know. We brought little Irvy
Yep.
in there when I was a kid.
Yep. It was
30
big.
years- 30, it was huge.
Yeah.
30
It's a
years
whale.
later, it could fit in this room, for God's sakes. Yeah, little Irvy's getting really little.
I remember when they had Bonnie and Clyde's bullet-riddled Ford.
Yes, that's where we
Well,
went
that's
to
a fair.
That's where we went to the fair for freak shows and stuff.
I went to see I've told you this a million times, the abominable snowman?
Abominable snowman.
And speaks no English. This was straight from the Himalayas. Boy, I couldn't wait. I got in there and I was going to pilfer a postcard that had a picture of this guy. The guy, hey, that's a dime. Put the dime back. It was probably some lineman from Nebraska doing a summer gig.
He wanted his dime.
Yeah, it was a dime. Hey, that's a dime.
The guy gave away the whole shtick for a dime.
That didn't stop anybody. The line kept coming through because he spoke no English.
Speaks no English.
Unbelievable. All right. I got to give you an ad.
Yeah, Jim Paul's
Goodbye.
Valley Group
All
of
right,
GM
see
dealers,
ya,
sir.
See ya. Well,
They do speak English at the Valley Group, from what I'm told.
Yes, they do. Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. Right now, we got factory rebates. They're back. And also, we have low interest rates, 0.9, 1.9, 4 different varieties of SUVs, and also the new Regal station wagon
You can even get a Hummer EV out there, and also the big honking Sierra trucks, the heavy-duty trucks, which are all over the place. I almost got ran off the road by one today, but I couldn't. It was going so fast I couldn't tell if it was a Sierra or not, but it was certainly moving. Anyway, Jim Paul and Brett Pauls, go check them out. Apple Valley, Hastings, right now. Get ready for winter. We still haven't had any snow. Get ready for winter. One of those SUVs will go flying right through that snow like it doesn't even exist. It will be a non-factor. That's right. And by the way, my last vehicle I got from there, I just went over 60. Still running like a top. Fantastic. Jim Paul and Brett Pauls, Valley Group of GM dealers. Apple Valley and Hastings.